Bushnell, performance is the only thing. Federal Premium Ammunition, surgical precision, terminal results. Savage Arms, better come standard. Gold Tip, start tough, stay true. And these other fine sponsors.
Well, we're just heading into baggage claim. Last leg of the journey, we landed here in Portland, Maine. Looking forward to a great turkey hunt here in Maine.
They're taking us to a restaurant, Kent. I'm not quite sure what kind of restaurant it is.
Buck Naked Barbecue.
The route calculation is complete.
Hey folks, thanks for joining us here at Bushnell's Trigger Effect. This week we've got a great episode. Dean and I have traveled all the way down to the great state of Maine, and it's just a beautiful spot down here.
Yeah, absolutely stunning, Kent. I mean, this is a unique episode for us and one that we've been looking forward to a long time. We're down at the Canadian Wild Turkey Federation's Hoot and Shoot, and we get to watch some kids learn all about turkey hunting.
Yeah, today is just orientation. They've got some classroom stuff to do, and then tomorrow we're going to be heading in the field with the kids to do some turkey hunting.
So let's turn these cameras around, get them on these kids, and watch them learn all about turkey hunting.
One of the most important things to me about this event is that it is for the kids. It's their hunt. So when I first start out, I try to make it show that they're important to each other and they're important to us as the mentors for the hunt. So I have them tell a little bit about themselves. I think you're the first person ever come to the Hoot and Shoot from Ontario, am I right? Yes. Congratulations. So what do you like to do besides hunting?
Play baseball.
I went to Nova Scotia and I'm 12 years old.
Really? Do you know the fellow that was just here?
Yeah.
Are you friends like at school?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's very nice. What I try to do in the morning is I try to introduce the differences between the male and the female turkeys and why this time of year is so important to us as turkey hunters, the breeding season. Let me ask you a question. Look at the fans. Look at the way they go. What's the difference? It's not so prominent as what you normally might do. Yes, sir?
Number 2 is bigger and rounder.
And what about number 1? And I tell these kids, and it's so cool, that when they get back, they're going to be the experts. They really are going to be the experts. They're going to know more than most of the other kids about turkey and turkey hunting and what turkeys are all about. So it's kind of a neat little thing for me to do. And I'm very blessed to be able to do this with these kids. It's huge. It's very, very good.
And today we were covering basic turkey calling for our youth at the 2018 Maine Hoot and Shoot. The kids were exposed to the general vocabulary of the wild turkey. And that would be just a plain yelp. Can you guys do that on your calls? We went over basic calls from clucks and purrs to fly down cackles, yelping, heavy cutting to tree calls, and the kids got to participate right alongside us.
So this is our 6th year of bringing the kids down for this Hoot and Shoot. Started out, there was 4 or 5 of us got together and thought, we want to be able to continue this, bringing the children out to the outdoors and give them an opportunity to see what wild turkey is all about.
Stay tuned for more hunting action with Bushnell's Trigger Effect after this commercial break. Closed captioning is brought to you by Hunting Consultants Plus, more than just a booking agency. Now, let's return to the action with Bushnell's Trigger Effect.
Well, Kent, what an absolutely incredible morning. I mean, just the excitement in that room with those kids is a lot, but I'll admit my ears are ringing a bit from that turkey calling.
Yeah, the kids got their turkey calls. They're practicing. The mentors have all been assigned. They're all sitting down, going to have a lunch right now. We're going to be going out shooting the guns here soon and wrap up the first day of turkey school.
Yeah, turkey, and I even learned some stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, those mentors are incredibly smart individuals. I mean, they're all guys that have spent their whole life hunting turkey. They're from the National Wild Turkey Federation. And I think that's the other thing that's really cool is that it's like a cross-border thing happening.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, this is a group of guys here that should be mentors for these kids. It's a great way to get youth involved in the shooting sports, and what a better setting than Maine. It's just beautiful here.
Now, I saw the ravenous pack in there, and I think we better pack up and go, because if not, we're going to be starving for lunch. So.
Yeah, we're not going to get anything to eat. So we'll be back and we'll be doing some shooting with the kids.
Basically, what we wanted to do was really focus on safety. We start off by saying, look, nobody would even want to come here today if we knew it couldn't be safe and fun. So those are 2 kind of goals of the weekend. And the fun part will come automatically. The safety part, we just have to really focus on. So does anybody know what a couple of different shooting positions are?
Prone.
Okay, prone.
Kneel, stand.
Okay, hold on. And what's one more? Can you think of any others? 10 commandments of firearm safety. So they don't call them the 10 suggestions, right, or the 10 good ideas. They're the 10 commandments because they're really things we have to do. And we just set up a little shooting station right in front of where I'm standing, and we let every kid go through and do a couple shots with the firearm they'll use tomorrow.
All right, gun up.
Nicely done.
Oh yeah.
Good job.
All right. I think that looked pretty good. Yeah.
Whoa, look at that. I think you killed both of them birds, didn't you? Mm-hmm. Look at that. Brain shots on both of them. Good job.
So by spending just a couple hours, not only did we make things safer, hopefully for everybody, kind of reminded everybody of the basic gun safety issues we need to be thinking about.
These kids are kicking my butt on this draw. The CWTF and all the sponsors have added a great little touch here. Nice draw for the kids here. Really cool. They're all getting prizes.
The Canadian Wild Turkey Federation is proud to present Turkey Talk.
Hi, my name is Jenica. I'm very proud of the work I do as a CWTF volunteer. We do a lot more than hunt turkeys. We have been sponsoring programs and events to help introduce many new people to the outdoors. Come and join us and see how you can be a volunteer too.
We now head out on an early first morning to join CWTF Hoot and Shoot mentor Rob Codio and his youth hunter Brady. We quickly wanted to thank Lisa Godin for handling the cam for us that morning. two. Held on. You're ready for the second one. Oh my gosh. Look at that.
That's a trophy.
Bushnell's Trigger Effect will return shortly after this commercial break. This segment is brought to you by Westside Stores, your outdoor sports authority. Now, back to Bushnell's Trigger Effect. Lethbridge College proudly presents Conservation Connection.
Thank you for joining us here at Conservation Connection at Lethbridge College. Today I have Richard Quinlan. He's one of the instructors here at the college, and we're going to talk a little bit about predator-prey relations. Now, Richard, in the past, before modern man's influence, there seemed to be a balance between predators and prey. Is there any way we can achieve that again?
Well, in the good old days, we had massive populations of millions of plains bison and other prey species and large populations of predators, and they moved freely across the landscape. Now, our situation is we really have pockets of predators and prey, and in those pockets of predators and prey, we tip the balance in favor of the predators in a lot of situations. So can we achieve that balance? Good question. It can be done, but it's not easy.
Okay, so how could we correct that problem?
Well, one of the things is by removing what we call predator subsidies, things we've done on the landscape to tip the playing field in favor of the predators. So if we're dealing with sage grouse, for example, we can remove old farm shelter belts from the grasslands, which provide areas for predators. If we're talking about, say, the northern forest where we have caribou, it's a lot harder to achieve.
Okay, well, we're asked through the television show and through social media quite often, wouldn't it just be easier to remove the predators?
Well, in some cases it's actually quite hard to remove predators, but in others where it might seem to be a suitable approach, we have to remember that the predators have a role on the landscape, and there's something called trophic cascades where we recognize that the predators affect not only the prey populations but also the habitat that those prey are using. So in the Yellowstone example where wolves were reintroduced, they redistributed the elk, which were really hammering the streamside riparian areas, and they're moving them across the landscape, sort of like the multiple predators are moving wildebeests across the landscape in Africa, and this provides less pressure on certain habitats. So better to have the predators do that than to try to simulate that through hunting, which would not be totally successful.
Well, thank you very much, Richard, for that information. We all play a role in wildlife management, but now let's get back to some more Bushnell's Trigger Effect action.
For more information on Bushnell's Trigger Effect, visit our website or Facebook. Now, back to the action.
Chris and Colby Clark here. We were out with Dean and Kent this morning and didn't have any luck, so me and Colby decided to come back.
So me and Colby were out hunting for the evening, and it was pretty quiet.
All evening we didn't hear anything. We might have heard a couple jakes when we were setting up, and then we didn't hear or see anything. It was probably about 6 o'clock, and
all of a sudden I spot a couple birds coming through the trees, and I look over at Colby. He's on his phone, so I had to get him off his phone and grab my call.
Didn't make a sound, they just showed up. I was on my phone, my dad had to tell me to get off my phone. He got his call ready and he called them in.
I got my call in my hand and called them in. They stopped out a bit, and then once they stopped, I give them another little squawk on the call, and they come right in. That gave me a minute to grab the camera, and I don't know if you'll see any of my awesome camera footage, but I think I did a really good job. Colby said I was shaking, but I'm not sure about that.
They were hesitant at first, but then they saw the decoy and they came right in at it.
And then Colby got steadied, and he took the first bird, and the other one kind of jogged off.
Nice shot, buddy. Hang on. Reload.
I shot the first one, the second one kind of jogged off. It wasn't the full run. My dad was shaking like crazy.
I proceeded to grab my call, and I really let off a super call to turn that bird around and get him back in.
awesome calling.
He came back in, and that gave me time to grab the camera again, and hopefully you'll see a couple pictures of the awesome footage I got again. And
No.
Okay, ready? Okay, ready.
I mean, like, really shaking. I was fine. So he called the second one back, and he couldn't get his call going because he was shaking so bad. And then it came back in, and I shot it, and
Oh, I hope it was recording.
so Colby got another bird, and it was just an unbelievable. Well, buddy, what'd you think of that experience? How was it?
that was crazy.
Crazy, eh? Yeah. Experience, and I got to be honest, I've never been that excited before. Like, that was just amazing to see him have that opportunity and get those two birds. It was an amazing experience. Something hopefully he'll never forget, and I know I never will.
More Bushnell's Trigger Effect after these important messages. This segment is brought to you by King's Camo. See the difference. Now, back to Bushnell's Trigger Effect.
Started calling, and then we had a few hens and jakes come into our right, and he told me to wait, and then we had a big tom come in, and he swatted at the decoy, and actually I got intimidated by our decoy, and he poked his head around, and I shot and missed. We waited for about another 3 hours.
And then three chickadees came by and two ran into my face. So then we're sitting in there, and then around 6 o'clock, like 5 or 6 turkeys came, and Sam said to shoot the second closest one, and it was the biggest too. So I pulled the hammer back, and I shot in the neck, and then so we tagged it and everything.
We called for a bit. After a while, he and pretty much everyone else fell asleep.
Your guy fell asleep?
Yes.
Did you fall asleep? Was he snoring?
No. But once it seen the Jake decoy, it ran down. Like, it put its head straight up and almost attacked our decoy. The only word I said was shoot. He said yes. Flung it up, then straight in the head. Nowhere else. No, I didn't hit the decoy. Thank goodness.
So first thing we did was we got out. He started hooting, and right after that, the owl came over and he started hooting for us. So we sat down, and then the turkeys were gobbling like crazy until like a whole flock came in. I shot at one, somehow missed, although I aimed for his head.
Well, I tell you, Dean, listening to those young men tell their stories about their very first turkey hunt was super exciting. I mean, it got me excited. They had some great luck. 3 of the young men shot turkeys. The other ones had very close encounters, and they are jacked up.
No, that's right. I know for me, it definitely brought me right back to being a kid, reminded me why I got into the sport. But it's not over yet. We're heading out for a really good barbecue. It's kind of a wrap-up dinner, but the great thing is there's a trout pond on site, and the kids are going to get to do some fishing. So, you know, it's been a great 2018 Hoot and Shoot, and I'm really looking forward to finishing it off strong.
You bet.
Well, folks, that's a wrap for the 2018 Hoot and Shoot, and Kent and I really did have a hoot. However, it takes a whole group of people to bring an event like this together. First of all, we'd like to put out a huge thank you to our conservation partners at the Canadian Wild Turkey Federation. We'd also like to thank the 10th Legion Guide Service for helping us coordinate all the turkey hunting areas. And the biggest thanks, definitely, we want to put out to all of the mentors who kicked in their time to help out the youth, which leads into my final thank you, which is to all the youth themselves.
You bet. I mean, Dean and I love coming out here and joining in on projects like this, going out, hunting with the kids, seeing them take their very first turkey. I mean, it's just fantastic getting the youth involved in the outdoors and the shooting sports. And if you like that, make sure you join us next week for more Bushnell's Trigger Effect.
Canadian Wild Turkey Federation is a proud conservation partner of Bushnell's Trigger Effect. Taxidermy services for Bushnell's Trigger Effect.
So what do we do next? We're watching that turkey, we're watching his body language. That's extremely important.
The whole group of people to come together and coordinate. Actually, that wasn't bad. Why did I stop?
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, let's just keep going.
Okay.
Okay. Well, folks, welcome to the 28th. What? Boy, I can tell you, Kent and I did have a hoot at this event. Well, folks.
This has been a Thunder Boys production.